Oh, you're here. Good. I was hoping for company. You see, I've got stories, dark ones, chilling ones, the kind that keep you up at night. Mythical creatures, curses, horrors you can't escape. Shall we begin? Don't worry, I won't bite. Much.
I went to college in another city, and after graduation, well, I had no job lined up, and my parents kept nagging me to move back to Chengdu. So I just went home and shamelessly mooched off them. I say lived at home, but honestly, I did occasionally wash dishes, take out the trash, and pretend to browse job listings. Mostly, though, I just lounged around at home. Our apartment was in a decent neighborhood in Chengdu, with 2 units per floor, all spacious and well lit. The neighbors across from us had always been an elderly couple. Nice people. Then, one morning, when my parents were at work and I went out to take out the trash, I noticed something odd. A middle-aged man had moved in next door. He wore black-framed glasses, dressed simply, and had the look of an honest schoolteacher. Seeing that he was also waiting for the elevator, I casually asked, "Hey, did the old couple move out?" "I'm Zhao, your new neighbor." He adjusted his glasses and replied calmly, "Oh, they moved abroad and rented the place to me. Just call me Nan. I teach math at an elementary school 3 stops from here." Then he smiled gently. He had a refined way of speaking that suited his teacher-like demeanor. We chatted a bit more, and he mentioned he lived alone. I thought he seemed like a good neighbor. He seemed to think well of me too. But reality soon showed me I had celebrated too early. In the second week after Nan moved in, my parents were still busy working overtime, leaving me alone at home. I spent my days binge-watching shows, reading, and occasionally going out for interviews. One night, a little past 10, I had just finished showering and went to open the window for some fresh air. As I pushed it open, I noticed a flicker of light from the balcony across the way. The balconies in our building were staggered, so sometimes we could catch glimpses of each other's. I leaned forward to see better, but all I caught was the glow of a flashlight before Nan's silhouette disappeared into his living room. I wondered, what was he doing with a flashlight so late at night? The power hadn't gone out. A few days later, I was dozing off in the afternoon when I heard a thump, thump, thump coming from next door. It wasn't the sound of knocking, more like something heavy hitting the floor. I pressed my ear to the wall and listened for a bit. The noise came in bursts, continuing for about 10 minutes. I found it odd. Wasn't he supposed to be at work? I shrugged it off, not wanting to be nosy, and went back to my show. Strange noises like these happened several more times. Once, around midnight, I was woken up by the sound of rushing water. The sound itself wasn't unusual, but it was loud, like multiple faucets running at once, accompanied by a strange metallic clattering. What on earth was he washing at this hour? Something huge? I wasn't the type to pry into my neighbor's business, but Nan's behavior was just too weird. That night, I texted my mom about our strange new neighbor. She was too busy working to reply much and just told me, "Mind your own business and stay safe." One day, I ran into Nan again while heading downstairs. He looked tense, carrying a large plastic bag that seemed heavy. There were even water droplets seeping through the bag. I stole a glance inside and saw what looked like herbs or plant roots, but the smell was odd, slightly fishy. "Aren't you supposed to be at school?" I asked, unable to hold back my curiosity. Nan answered calmly, "Oh, I don't have class today. I'm going to the pharmacy to pick up some medicine." That made me pause. Schools weren't on break yet, but maybe he had rearranged his schedule. It wasn't that big of a deal, so I didn't press further. By the 3rd month, my curiosity about Nan had peaked. One weekend my parents were out and I was bored. So I decided to knock on Nan's door under the pretense of borrowing some seasoning. Really, I just wanted to snoop. I knocked for a while, but no one answered. Pressing my ear to the door, I thought I heard faint splashing sounds, but I wasn't sure. Every time I saw him after that, he either looked utterly exhausted or rushed inside without stopping to chat. As the days went by, my unease grew stronger. Every encounter with Nan felt stranger, his exhaustion more apparent. I tried to shake off my curiosity, but a deep sense of foreboding lingered. Then came the truly terrifying moment. That evening, my parents miraculously got off work early, and we were watching TV together when we heard a loud thud from next door, followed by a faint shout. My dad, ever the good neighbor, immediately went over and rang the doorbell. It took Nan a long time to answer. He looked pale, like he'd been sick for days. Seeing us, he seemed flustered, but before he could stop us, my dad pushed the door open. "Everything okay? Need help?" As soon as we stepped in, a thick herbal scent mixed with something moldy and damp hit us. The apartment was dimly lit except for a soft yellow glow coming from the bathroom. What we saw next nearly made me scream. Nan's bathtub was massive like a small pool, and inside it, fully submerged in dark brown liquid, was a woman. Her eyes were wide open, staring blankly at the ceiling, completely motionless. She didn't seem to be breathing, but there were no signs of decay either. My mom almost collapsed on the spot. What is this?" I stammered. Nan sighed and, after a long pause, said, "I won't hide it anymore. Come in." Inside the bathroom, Nan gently draped a white towel over the woman's shoulders as if afraid to disturb her. "This is my wife, Yue," he said. "We were childhood sweethearts. 5 years ago, during a trip to Thailand, she was cursed by a scammer. Since then, she's been trapped in this half-lucid, half-mad state. Sometimes she doesn't even recognize me. When she does, she begs me to end her suffering." We were speechless. I tried everything. Then in Yunnan, I found a master who taught me a ritual. By soaking her in this medicinal bath for 5 years, her soul could heal. But she can't be disturbed. If she is, she might never come back. "How long does she need to stay like this?" my dad asked. 5 years, Nan said. "Only 10 days left now. If I follow the instructions precisely, she will wake up." The days passed, and on the final night, we gathered at Nan's apartment in silence. He chanted softly, his voice trembling, for over an hour. Then there was a long pause. A weak voice called out, "Nan?" We all exchanged glances. "Did it work?" Nan emerged, eyes wet with tears. "She's awake. She's normal." A moment later, he guided Yue out. Though pale, she looked peaceful, her eyes clear. "Thank you," she said softly, bowing slightly. Over time, Nan became more cheerful. I often saw them walking hand in hand. I still don't know if I believe in the ritual, the years of medicinal soaking, the soul repairing process, the strict conditions, but I do know this. Nan spent 5 years in unwavering devotion, waiting for his wife to return. And miraculously, she did. As for me, I figured it was time to stop slacking and get a job. Who knows what other strange stories life might throw my way?